years ago, the rehearsal pianist for Funny Girl was a young musician named Marvin Hamlisch. They know you, Marvin, they know you. He has come a long way since then, winning 3 Academy Awards, 4 Grammys, a Tony, and the Pulitzer Prize for a chorus line, so he doesn't need this job. And I'm so very happy to have him with me tonight. Please help me thank my musical conductor, arranger, friend, wonderful person, Marvin Hamlisch.
I met Barbra Streisand years ago because I was the rehearsal pianist for Funny Girl, the original show. And then over the years, it's almost like every 10 years, her path and my path coincided. For instance, 10 years after that, I did the music for The Way We Were. Of course, that was sung by Barbra Streisand beautifully, and of course, she starred in the film with Robert Redford.
The way we were, the way we...
Well, I started out very young. I went to the Juilliard School of Music when I was 6.5 years old. But I knew very early on that I was not going to become the next Horowitz. What I wanted to be was the next Richard Rodgers. I wanted to be a writer. And slowly but surely, I got to grab that goal. First, I started out in rock and roll, and I had a couple of rock and roll hits, including Sunshine, Lollipops, and Rainbows with Leslie Gore. And then one thing led to another, and all I wanted to do was to write for the shows, but no one was giving me any shows. So I got into the movie business and had the excitement of winning 3 Oscars in a row, 2 for The Way We Were, and 1 for the adaptation of Scott Joplin's music for The Sting. Then, and only then, did I finally get offered a job to actually write the music for a show, and thankfully that became a chorus line. And when I was growing up, there was this show called Gypsy, and Gypsy had this great overture. It's always considered to be the best overture. And when I was writing chorus line, I was hoping to write an overture that we would use to show the world that I could do it. Well, I wrote the overture, but we never used it because we didn't think it was right to have an overture in front of a show that supposedly takes place at an audition. So that overture is what I'm going to be playing with the orchestra from chorus line. The way I always think about doing my show is almost as if you had been invited to my living room, and what would I be doing at the piano in my living room? The only difference, of course, being that we'll have this wonderful symphony orchestra. But the style of the show and the mood of the show is hopefully to entertain, to play some great music, not all of it my own, other great composers, Cole Porter, Scott Joplin, and then to add to all that mix some of the pieces that I'm known for, and also to have some fun. We do a thing called Rent a Composer, where I make up songs on the spot. I get titles from people in the audience, and we make up songs. So basically, it's to be a kind of a fun, enjoyable evening. And hopefully, people would bring their children, because I think kids today are not hearing this kind of music anymore, and I think it's something wonderful for any child to be exposed to a live orchestra. I've visited Australia now about 4 times in my life. I've always enjoyed coming to Australia, and the chance to work with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra is a real dream come true. It's not every day that you get a chance to work with a first-class orchestra. It's not every day that you get a chance to go to a place that you love and not only enjoy the place, but get a chance to do what you do and to create an evening of music. So I am looking forward with glee to coming.